Thanks for joining once again, everyone. Appreciate you stopping in. And this video is going to be about holiday or birthday gifts that you can get for the DIY person in your life. And these are not going to be your very obvious DIY type of tools or gifts that you'd have for the home, because we assume that if someone's a DIY person, they already have screwdrivers and wrenches and things like that. So this is not that. This would be the next level, the next tier of things that they may not have but are very useful. I'm going to show you 10 of those right now that I think would be great gifts for someone, or maybe you're watching this and you're trying to give someone else ideas about what to get for you, and you might see one or two of these and say, hey, yeah, that'd be great. I need one of those. Some of them make great stocking stuffers. The great late comedian Mitch Hedberg once said that a severed foot makes the best stocking stuffer. This is going to be nothing like that. Smaller things that you could fit in there a little better. And anyhow, I'm also going to link to some of them down in the description in the first pinned comment, because the ones that I have, a lot of the stuff is pretty old and updated models. I'm going to include links to them down below. It does help the channel if you happen to use the links to purchase any of them. It's not why I'm here, but in any case, it does help. And anyway, I'm going to get to the first one. Most of these are not going to be so obvious. There's one that's going to be very obvious, but let's go to the first one. The first one's going to be a vise. Not everyone has this. I've mounted it on a board so I can move it around. It's pretty stable. This is something that everyone should have in their garage, and a lot of people that have already started on their DIY projects haven't collected one of these yet. It is extremely helpful. It helps to hold things. You can use it to cut at the same time. I mean, just a myriad of different things. I've actually put pipes in here and had the torch. All kinds of. I mean, it's just unlimited. Right now you actually see I've got a couple little pieces of cardboard in here because I had something delicate that I didn't want to damage with the metal pressing up against it. Just so many uses. This is something that a DIY person absolutely should have in the garage. And while we're on the topic of vise, let's just go right into some clamps. You can never have enough clamps in the garage. So many different things you can do with them. I'm going to do I've got an upcoming video where I'm going to be, I think, sharpening or refurbishing a hatchet, and I know I'm going to be using a couple of these clamps to fasten it down on the end of the workbench. You're working by yourself, you need another hand. This is just these things are just, you've glued something, you want to keep it pressed down. I mean, there's just so many uses for these things. These are great. Even if someone has a couple, adding a couple of more to a gift would be welcomed by anyone that's into DIY projects at home. Right here I have a solder kit. Looks like you're getting the garage light on here. Soldering kit. So this is a newer one. I've used this a few times. I used to have an old one. It just wasn't hot enough. This one is great. Reconnecting wires, working on electronics. This is an awesome thing to have. I've repaired a lot of different things that were otherwise heading for the garbage with this. Just a great tool for the DIY person. Definitely recommended. Here I have a multimeter and tester. This is old. I've got a story behind this. You know what? It's actually that whole story. My uncle gave me this a couple of decades ago, and he had it for a very long time. I'm going to do a video on my uncle. It's pretty impressive. If you like the movie Apollo 13, you're going to enjoy the little story I'm going to tell about my uncle, because he was involved in that whole thing. He was really big into electronics, and at some point in a future video I'll explain why and how. But he gave me this. This is an old one, but every garage should have one of these, and I'm going to link to one in the description and in the pinned comment. This is a great thing for the DIY person to have. Not everyone has one, so there's a good chance that the person you're shopping for might not have one of these as well. So next we have the circuit detective. I did a video on this. Basically what it allows you to do is figure out which outlet is controlled by which breaker. You plug this into an outlet, the thing, you run over your various breakers here, and it starts beeping once it touches the breaker that's controlling the wire that goes to the outlet where this is plugged in. So a great little tool to have, and really every homeowner should have one of these if you're not positive where which breaker is controlling all of your outlets. Okay, look at these old things here. So this is basically any, you know, a great gift would be a flashlight that doesn't require a hand to hold it. This thing was cool. It was made by DeWalt. I don't even know if they make these anymore. But again, you're gonna find one in the description that I like. Runs off of the battery, and you can position this any way you want. If you're working under the sink, it's a great one. And this thing, magnetic, right? So LED light, and you can just, you know, place it. You're working in the car. Look at this. You can just put this here and just put the light right down under your workspace with a magnet here on the bottom. It's a great little gadget to get for somebody. Okay, next is a heat gun. This is something that everyone should have in their garage. A lot of people don't. Very, very, very old one here. Old Black & Decker, which I'm not a fan of Black & Decker tools, but this one doesn't get that hot. I found it for $3 at a garage sale. I'm due for a new one, and I'm going to link to one in the description below, like I said earlier. But this is extremely helpful for various different projects at home. You can bend PVC pipe. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with the heat gun, and definitely a great tool to gift someone if they don't already have it. So the next thing everyone has to have, you probably don't have one of these already, but this retractable cord reel, 50 feet. This thing, I don't know how I lived without it for so many years. The day I installed it, my life just got that much easier. No more coiling up cords like we used to do. This thing just pulls out and extends back up again. What a great thing. First day we had it also, I think my wife was out there trying to vacuum out the car and just pulled it all the way down the driveway, this thing, and just plugged the shop vac into it, and then just pulled it once and it just retracted right up in there. Just installs in your ceiling, right up against the ceiling joist with a couple of lag bolts, and it just plugs into an outlet which we have in the ceiling here. This is a great gift to get somebody. If you have an air compressor, this reel. So we just went from the electric reel to the air hose reel. This one happens to hold, well, I got it a little bit overstuffed, but I got 150 feet of hose on here. I found this at a Home Depot. I think I was traveling and I was in Michigan, and I just walked in there, saw this thing there. They didn't have it at mine. They did a check, so I actually brought it home on an airplane with me. But this is a less expensive one. They make them more expensive where it's all enclosed. But this thing has done the job for me, and you know, you can go all the way out with this to refill your tires down the end of the driveway. I've done roofing with this with the coil nailer up all the way across the roof. Take this inside the house and do all of your trim work with your brad nailer. You don't have to, you know, carry the compressor around with you. Stays in your garage. I've got it between the two garage doors here, and you just use the reel and you can take this thing anywhere. So this is another great gift. All right, now the last one. I told you one's going to be obvious, and cordless drill screw gun. You probably already have one, or the person you're shopping for likely already has one. The person might want an upgrade. This is probably not something you want to buy for someone, because this is one of those personal things you shop for yourself. However, what you can do is get them an extra battery. That's always a welcome gift. Another great little thing you can do. Find out what model and make they have, and just go purchase an extra battery or two. Everyone always needs a backup because you run out of power. You don't have time. You know, this one came with two, so that was great for me. But either the drill driver itself or an extra backup battery. That would make a great gift. So hopefully this was fun and helpful for you, gave you some ideas for yourself or for someone else. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you if you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.